I made these speakers, but the challenge with selling direct to consumer is that you can't listen to them before you buy. There's no dealer, no showroom, no place really to go hear them. So one way to solve that is with independent reviews. So instead of trusting me to tell you how they sound, I enlisted an audiophile friend to have a listen and give me his honest opinion. So I loaded the Arcus speakers in my car, drove to his place, and we set them up in his room. So let's go to his house. I want you all to meet Dave. Dave, how you doing?
Hey, doing well, Steve.
It's good to see you. Hey, tell our audience here about your audio experience, how you got into high-end audio. Just tell us your story.
Probably all started when I was a kid. My dad was a musician, and he actually introduced me to stereo when I was a kid.
Okay.
He plugged into wall sockets as well as into the amplifier, and really taught me about how stereo is more than just left to right. It's actually front to back. It's about a 3D kind of thing. Mm-hmm. As I became an adult, I made friends with some people who were kind of budding audiophiles and started going to the Consumer Electronics Show, particularly to the high-end rooms, and then eventually located to a different facility than the main part. And would go every year.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who runs a high-end audio company, and he'd be down looking for new lines he could carry. But it really gave me exposure to a lot of great gear that I'd never be able to afford, but I was able to hear it and really start understanding the differences between a lot of that.
Yeah.
Something I've always loved, I do a little bit of a vintage guitar business. So I've been through speakers of a few varieties. I currently have a few pair of B&Ws, but I know yours are cast. I'm looking at them right now, and that cabinet resonance is a big deal to you.
Yeah.
Cabinet resonance has always been something that's bugged me when I'm listening to a speaker, or the perception that the sound's coming out of a box. And those were the first speakers I had ever heard that didn't have those issues.
Yeah. So Dave, what were some of the systems your friends had that you listened to?
They owned a single system for 3 or 4 years. That was a long time for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they've been through a lot of higher end B&W speakers. They've had Wilson audio speakers, the original Apogee Duetta, which was a 2-ohm ribbon speaker, if you can imagine.
Wow.
Getting a power amp that can drive 2 ohms at high volume for a long time. Had amplification by Conrad Johnson, audio research, a lot of different things.
Why would these guys switch out every 3 years?
It's the audiophile thing of always chasing the thing that's this much better than what you have right now.
Interesting.
Same reason people spend thousands or sometimes tens of thousands on cables. Because it's that much better. And as much as I wish I couldn't hear the difference in cables, I'm a believer in that, but is it worth hundreds or thousands to me for that much better? Not really, but it is to a lot of people.
Sure. Hey, so should we listen to some music?
Yeah, let's hear some stuff.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear what these sound like.
Let's listen to these speakers, and I want to get some reaction from you.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. I want to thank this week's sponsor, Pale Blue Batteries. They've got these really cool batteries that have a USB-C charging port right on the battery. No need for a wall charger. Just take a power bank on the go and have power anytime you need it. Pale Blue Batteries, they're awesome. Just a little disclaimer before we get started. We recorded this whole session on these DJI lapel mics. These are for voice, not for high-end audio. No high-end recording gear was used at all. So what you're hearing is the music from this plus YouTube compression. The thing that you're actually hearing is nowhere near what we're hearing live, but I just thought I'd make you aware of that. That was the first song off of Epidemic Sound, so we can get some copyright-free music. So go ahead, Dave. What did you think?
There was a lot going on in that piece, with the Hammond organ and all of the electronics and percussion. And I really liked how the speakers were really coherent from top to bottom of the tonal range. A lot of speakers will either leave out one section of the frequency spectrum or will over-exaggerate one, make one harsh and painful in the ears, whatever. But I really thought your speakers did a great job of just being very coherent, top to bottom.
Perfect, perfect. All right, let's go to the next one.
You don't know how much I can carry. You don't know how much I care. And I promise you I'll swim through the
As an acoustic guitar player, I really liked the sound of the finger-picked guitar in the back of that.
Okay.
Where it had the right amount of brilliance, but did that without being like it was being jammed into my eardrums.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really appreciated that. I also really liked the sense of depth on the more reverberant, kind of ambient elements of the song, and thought the speakers did a pretty impressive job with that.
Very cool. All right, cool. Thank you. Off to the next one.
First of all, I'm a sucker for anything that has a Hammond organ. Right? But a lot of times we talk about the sense of pace that speakers have, which has a lot to do with how they hold a rhythm together. And in that song, I thought that was very important. And I thought your speakers did a really credible job at keeping the pace where it needed to be.
Explain pace to me.
Just a sense of movement in the music based on rhythmic accents. So I'd say it's a little bit how the bass is delivered, but also a little bit the sense of impact on, say, a kick drum beat or a thump on a bass guitar string. And something that I think most people notice only when it's not there, where they think this music doesn't feel like it's very alive to me, and sometimes you can't put your finger on it.
Okay.
But sometimes you go, no, this is a good sense of pace. I can feel, I'm supposed to feel a teeny whack against my body.
That makes sense. Very cool.
I thought the guitar sonority came across really well. And I really liked with the hand claps, just the way that you could feel the reverb around each hand clap. The hand claps were distinct and present, but they faded beautifully into the reverb in that. And I love Latin music, so.
Very cool. I thought that the hand claps were very crisp and distinct on the...
Yeah, I thought they did a great job with that.
Perfect.
And also with the reverb that trailed off after each hand clap.
Okay. So we just listened to a song by Norah Jones called 7 Years. It's one of my favorite reference tracks to listen to. We couldn't play that one on YouTube because it's going to be copyright issues with it. But I wanted to play it for Dave, and I wanted his reaction. So we just listened to it. I wanted Dave to react to that song.
Well, it's really interesting for me because I like a lot of Norah Jones, and I'm not familiar with that song. And I have some Norah Jones that I think's really recorded insanely well, and wanted to know if that applied to most of her other stuff. And I would say that song I thought was recorded very well. I really enjoyed the quality of her voice on that. When we listened to it at a couple of different volume levels, and at the level I would normally listen to it in particular, I thought her voice just had great character and seemed very present, like she was kind of standing maybe even slightly in front of the speakers in dead center when she took off. Loved the instrumentation, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Why is that a song that you like listening to so much, particularly on these speakers?
Well, there's the circle of the songs that I like, and there's the circle of the songs that are recorded well, and where those overlap, that's kind of where I really am gravitating towards and what I'm listening to, and I just stumbled across that song. It just sounded fantastic on my speakers, and I just love listening to it. Well, Dave, I appreciate your time. You really know your stuff. I'm super impressed with your knowledge on audio and overall, and some of the insights, some things I learned from you today was really cool. So
I'm a geek. You can ask my wife, and she'll back that up, I promise.
No, so the input was fantastic. I love that.
Thanks for letting me hear these. I've been very interested ever since I heard you were starting to do this.
Yeah, so great. So there you have it. Another set of ears listening to my speakers and letting you know what they think. I always get a kick out of someone new hearing my speakers and giving me their honest reaction. Dave brought a lot of experience to this video, and I really enjoyed hearing his thoughts about the Arcus speaker. I've got some other reviews coming from some well-known YouTube channels, so definitely stay tuned for that, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss them. You can get more information on my website at StoneSonicAudio.com, and if you have any questions, drop me an email. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.